Now, on that highlight clip, you may have seen one particular play I made in Seattle. I picked off John Elway. I kind of let it linger there for a little bit so you see it with John Elway. And you may have heard the announcer say, oh, you're having a great season, you're leading the team in tackles and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Well, let me tell you what happened in off season. Well, right before that off season, me and my lovely fiance at the time, Kimberly, we got married that off season. We found a house that off season. Kim decorated our house that off season. And it was in that off season where I got a phone call from my agent. And my agent said, Darren, the Seahawks have released you. And I can remember because I was here in Miami while my house and everything else was in Seattle. I was here for the off season just to kind of enjoy myself and relax. And it kind of stunned me for a second. And I thought to myself, wow, now what am I going to do? But even more than that, I thought to myself, how am I going to tell my wife? She just fixed up all of this house and we just did all of these things, made all of these changes. How am I going to do that? But the more I thought about it, I started thinking a little bit different about it. I said, you know what? You played in the league for 7 years. You started all 7 years. You've been on 2 national championship teams. You've been on 2 Super Bowl teams. When these other teams find out that you're available, man, your phone's going to ring off the hook. That's what I thought. Phone was really quiet. Like, wait a minute, I'm pretty young. I've been playing real good. Actually, that year, only two teams called me. And only one of them really had a lot of serious interest in me. Only one team said that you come here, you'll be our outside linebacker. That team was the New Orleans Saints. Now, let me tell you, before that, I started making a list. Now, my attitude was a little cocky. I started making a list of things that I want in my next team. I want a team that plays on grass. I'm tired of this turf, man. It's tearing my skin up. I just hate playing on turf. Secondly, I want a winning team. I want to go back to the Super Bowl. Man, I love that time with the Cowboys. And thirdly, I was kind of looking for a team that would be near Florida, in Florida. You know, we had 3 Florida teams, so I was kind of wanting to be in Florida. So that was my prerequisite. So when the Saints called, I was telling everybody, ain't no way I'm going there, because when I looked at the qualifications, number one, they play in a dome. They play on turf. Secondly, when I looked at their record, they were 3-13, the worst team in the league. Still, and it wasn't Florida. It wasn't Florida. So I told everybody, oh no, I'm not going there. No way I'm going there. But they kept calling. And they kept calling. And they got to the point, they didn't want to look at the call ID. And if it said Saints, I just wouldn't answer the phone. What an attitude, right? But eventually that off season kept on going, and my phone remained quiet. And I was working out on my own. I was getting tired of that. And my wife was on my back. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I don't know. So with all of that situation, I said, well, let me give it a chance. So I decided to go out there and visit the coaches, and they told me everything that I wanted to hear. Man, you're the man. You're going to be our guy. You're going to be the starter. I said, well, you know, I've usually worn number 59 in my career. You'll get number 59. I was like, well, I know there's a guy here. That guy, he's not going to be here. He's not going to be around. When you get here, we'll give you that jersey. I'm like, oh, great. Man, I feel sorry for him, but it is what it is. Right, Isabel? Yeah. And so I decided to sign a 1-year minimum contract with the Saints. 1-year minimum contract with the Saints. And I didn't know where they had training camp at, but when I got there, they took me to this. They didn't have camp in New Orleans. They had a camp in a city called Thibodaux. Anybody heard of Thibodaux before? No. That got to be, it just had to be the hottest place in the world. I don't know. It doesn't get any hotter than Thibodeau. Anybody ever seen the movie Waterboy? That's Thibodeau. That's Thibodeau right there. You know, I remember one time we walked across the parking lot and the alligator ran. A little baby alligator ran across the parking lot. I was like, wow, where am I? Where am I? But it was interesting because as we began practice, and we began, you know, one thing I noticed is, number one, I was number 54. You probably saw that on the screen.
Yeah.
I said, well, what about that? Yeah, just give it time. You know, we can't just do them like that. We'll work it out. And I wasn't getting reps at linebacker. They kind of, you know, they had me doing special teams like kickoff return, and punt. I was like, wait a minute, that's rookie stuff. Huh? I haven't done that stuff since I was a rookie. And I kind of started realizing that the guy they said they were going to cut, he was kind of like the star of the team. I noticed in practice, whenever we would watch film, they were like, man, you're doing great, you're doing that. When they decided to start designing plays for him, it's like, something fishy going on here, Carlos, I don't know. But as the weeks went by and I saw I wasn't getting linebacker reps, I found out really that I was really a backup plan. I was a just in case. And I started getting really frustrated as I evaluated my situation. I said, you know what, I don't need this. Y'all better check my resume. 2 national champs, 2 Super Bowls, 7 years starting. And you telling me I can't come to the worst team in the league and play? Something not right. So I called my wife, which is what a good husband would do, right?
Okay.
So I started analyzing my situation. What can I do? I said, babe, maybe I should just tell the coach to cut me, and maybe I can try to get on with another team. Or maybe we could take a year off, we got a little saved up, and maybe we'll see what happens next year. And I can remember her telling me, you know, the reality is we have many coaches in many places at different times. And she was like a coach to me that day. She said, you know what? I believe you can do it. I think you should hang in there, but whatever you decide, I got your back. And I started thinking about it. She said, I want you to do. I want you to pray about it and analyze the situation. So I prayed about it, and I started thinking about it. And it's like something spoke to me. And it made me think about the fact, and I said, Darren, you're being very, very selfish right now. I said, where did that come from? I was too busy in my little pity party, so I know it wasn't me. I said, you're being selfish. How many guys would like to be in the NFL training camp right now? Corey, how many guys would love to run down on the kickoff? How many guys would love to run down on the punt? And you're worrying about having to do special teams? And that night I decided to change my attitude. And I said to myself, you know what? Whatever they ask me to do, whether it's run down on the punt, I'm going to be the first one down there. Whether it's to be on the kickoff return team and block, my guy's not going to make the tackle. I decided that day to change my attitude. And I started to put in the work. And every day now, I went out there, I still wasn't getting my rep, but whatever rep I did get, I did it 100%. I did it to the fullest. I took the time to learn the plays inside and out. Even though I may not have gotten the reps, I was learning. I was learning. Even though I felt disrespected, even though I felt like they tricked me, I kept working. I kept getting better. And then we were at our last preseason game, and I pretty much settled in my mind by then. You know, okay, well, I'm going to be the guy, whatever I got to do, that's what I'm going to do. Our middle linebacker gets hurt in the last preseason game, and he tears his Achilles tendon. That's a season-ending injury. And so there was a guy who played behind him, but instead of them going to him, they came to me. Now, I'm not a middle linebacker. I don't even know. Those middle linebackers are some big monsters, right? Say, Darren, we want you to be the middle linebacker. You know, by that time, I had changed my attitude. I worked. I did what I had to do. I said, okay, whatever you want me to do. You know what happened? I ended up having the best season of my career that year. Best season in tackles, interception, pass breakups. But it was because I was willing to change my attitude. The funny thing is, not only did I have a great season, the Saints went from 3-13 to winning the division and winning a playoff game for the first time in Saints history. You gotta remember that at this time, this was in 2000, where the fans were still calling themselves the Aints and wearing brown paper bags. So to be a part of something that turned around so suddenly like that and so quick, it was a great feeling. So I was successful personally. The team was successful. An amazing thing happened. Remember, I signed a 1-year deal with them. The next off season, the previous one was so quiet. All of a sudden, the phone is ringing off the hook. The phone is ringing off the hook. Teams are bringing us in, bringing me and Kimberly in, whining us and dining us. Oh, your kids can go here, and you can do this, and you can do that. Showing us every situation that we want to try to entice us to come to their team. Wow, what a difference a year makes.